Mcree was taking a sip of his ice-cold lemonade, not alcoholic, on a porch outside of his beachside retreat. He was draped in a light pink bathrobe with no underwear on, uwu, and his hat tipped towards the setting sun in order to defend his sensitive eyes from the light. A figure appeared in the open glass sliding door behind him and softly walked towards him. Mcree glanced backwards casually and sighed softly, his hot breath steaming up the side of his lemonade glass. He waited patiently. Lucio softly fell onto Mcree's back and seductively said,
I'm feeling some good vibrations.
"Not now, Lucio. I love you, but I need some time alone right now," Mcree responded without looking back.
I'm not hearing that noise.
Lucio abruptly responded. Mcree stopped leaning on the wooden porch rail and stood straight so that Lucio gingerly slid off of his back.
Whew, nothing's gonna stop me.
Lucio said with a glint in his eye as he pressed himself against Mcree and reached for the rope on his bathrobe. Mcree grabbed his hands with enough force to translate to him that no meant no, but this just made Lucio angry. Lucio grabbed Mcree's shoulder and spun him around to say,
I'm taking the objective. You know you want some.
while looking menacingly into his eyes. Mcree returned the cold stare and said, "I'm not going to be pushed to do something I'll regret like last time, Lucio. Leave me alone right now." Lucio did not seem to register Mcree's exact words, just that the sentence was not something that he wanted to hear. Lucio responded by muttering,
Someone call a doctor.
and then beginning to beat Mcree without hesitation. Lucio first punched Mcree in his baby-soft washboard abs, and then shoving him to the ground while he was winded, causing him to scrape his amply lotioned knees on the wooden floor. But then Lucio abruptly stopped the pummeling and turned around, heading back inside, saying,
Watch your back.
when he reached the entryway. Mcree began sobbing into his bathrobe while in a fetal position on the floor. He wondered what had brought him into this relationship and why he hadn't ended it already. But that was all the time Mcree had to think before Lucio came back outside, this time in full gear, whereas before he only had a sleeveless undershirt and a pair of basketball shorts on. Mcree was still crying, so he didn't even see it coming when Lucio came back onto the porch and began kicking him with his wall riders. They cut into Mcree's already scarred, but still irresistibly soft back, as Lucio laid it on as if he had done it a million times before. After Mcree's bathrobe began to turn red as it still lay on his back, Lucio said,
I can do this with my eyes closed.
and stopped his onslaught. Lucio stood over Mcree for a good 3 minutes before Mcree began to pick himself up again. At this point, his robe was dripping blood, and Mcree felt dizzy from the pain. Lucio had expected Mcree to begin walking inside to get himself cleaned up so they could go to bed together, but he didn't. Mcree swayed slightly as he raised his eyes to meet Lucio's mean stare, and then spat the words, "Lucio, we're done. I'm leaving you," at his face. Lucio never expected this kind of defiant behavior from his toy, so he was visibly shocked for a second, but his glare soon returned as Lucio realized that Mcree was now worthless to him. Then in an act of anger in losing something that he had spent so much time cultivating into the perfect, submissive animal, stated,
Push off.
as he raised his sound gun and blasted him through the wooden railings and to the ground 3 stories below. Realizing the rash action that he just made, Lucio peered over into the trees near where Mcree fell to look around and say,
I hope nobody saw that.